Welcome to the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl.
Welcome to the Ticket Smarter Birmingham Bowl.
Turn it on, baby. It's the Myrtle Beach Bowl on the grand stretch. It's the fastest car. He walks in for the touchdown.
Keeps his feet out of the tackle, and it's a race now.
Has the receiver open. Touchdown, Herslow.
Quite a night for the Knights.
It's a ball win here tonight for Tulsa.
What a season for Dana Holgerson in 2021. 12-2 are the Cougars' final record.
Welcome back into American Football Media Day. I'm Morgan Uber. When you think college football in December, two words come to mind: bowl season. Nick Carparelli is the executive director of bowl season, and we have the opportunity to welcome him right now into the American studios. First off, thanks so much for taking the time to join us. College football fans, when they think bowl season, it's a 3-week period in December, but you literally represent bowl season. When it launched in 2020, what is the entity of bowl season?
That's a great question. I think the obvious answer is, just as you stated, it's a 3-week time of year in December that American sports fans look forward to every year. But to peel back the layers, we created a brand new sports entity. It's kind of odd to say that because bowl games have been around for 100 years. But when I was hired 2 years ago, it was as the executive director of the Football Bowl Association, which no one had ever heard of, even though it had served the individual bowl games collectively for about 30 years. But it was nothing more than an internal trade association. When we created bowl season, it was to be a more public-facing sports brand that helps unite all 44 bowl games under one umbrella. You think of March Madness in basketball. Obviously, college basketball and college football are very different, but college football has bowl season at the end of the year. And like we said, it's that 3-week time of year that people look forward to every year. And it's been an exciting project, and really excited about where we're heading. As
executive director, what all does your job entail?
Well, I think like a lot of jobs in sports, you get the questions, well, what do you do when it's not bowl season? It's the games don't magically appear in December. There's a lot of work that goes into them. We stay busy all year long. We have a big annual meeting in April where everybody who works for a bowl game, does business with a bowl game, comes together. We had 500 people for 4 days. I'm busy networking with college football administrators. One of my big jobs is to be an advocate for the bowl system and each of the individual bowl games, tell all the great stories about how meaningful the bowl game experience is to everyone involved, the student athletes, the institutions in general, the communities that host the games. So we do that all year long, and now we're at a period of time where we're starting to gear up for the football season, kicking off on Labor Day and leading right into bowl season.
Tradition, pageantry, bragging rights, it all sums up college football. But for you, what sparks your passion for college football, specifically the bowl season?
Well, I'm kind of a sucker for all those things, pageantry, tradition, rivalries. Some of the headlines we're seeing in college athletics these days with conference realignment, it saddens me because I think it's at the expense of a lot of great rivalries, a lot of regional matchups, things that really matter to people. It's all driven by money, and I think that's important, but it's not the be-all, end-all. I don't think fans care how much money their institution makes off their athletic program. They just like watching the teams play, and they like to see who they play. It's meaningful to them. I think in bowl games, you hang on to some of that tradition in college football, and you see these great matchups every December. Some of them are, I think you're starting to see some rivalries renewed in bowl games, rivalries that have gone away in the regular season. I think the bowl organizers and the conferences are making a conscious effort to maybe match up those rivals in a bowl game when they used to be in a regular season. At the same time, you see some really unique matchups. Bowl games are events where two teams who have had a successful season play one additional game against an opponent they wouldn't normally schedule, in a location they wouldn't normally go, and it gets their fan base an opportunity to experience a part of the country and a specific community that they wouldn't normally go to. So it's a great time of year. We call bowl season the celebration of college football, and we think that's the perfect description.
On the flip side of that, there's also the rising rate of opt-outs and transfer portal chaos over the past couple of years. Why, though, is bowl season still essential and important, really, to the landscape of college football?
Well, there's a lot of ways that coaches and football programs look at bowl season. For a lot of them, it's a reward for a successful season. For some of them, it's also a launching point for the following season, where you get to see some younger guys play, and it sets the tone for the offseason. If you go to a bowl game and you win the bowl game, things are different in that offseason. You have a little extra hop in your step in the weight room and in spring practice, and there's a lot more energy heading into the following season. For us, we're very proud that bowl games can give seniors one last chance to play the game of football with their friends. You mentioned the opt-outs. Well, we focus on the opt-ins. There's, over 95% of college football players are not going to play in the NFL. So for the majority of them, it's their last football game they'll ever play. That's something they've been doing since maybe they were 5 years old, and then they have to go on with the rest of their life. And I think that's why the bowl game experience creates such great, long-lasting memories for these guys that they'll never forget.
Logistically, when the regular season ends, conference championship games are played. What then is the process for bowl selections and matchups?
It's a good question. It's really an ongoing process. Once you get into November, especially middle of November, the conferences and the bowl games who have partnerships with one another start conversations. They look at the standings. They figure out, they probably narrow it down to a handful of teams that may make sense for their game. Once you get through the end of the regular season, heading into the conference championship game, there's some matchups that are probably pretty well set. Teams that are not participating in the conference championship games, and some planning starts then. But as you mentioned, right when those conference championship games end, it's a frenzy on Saturday night and into Sunday, where all the matchups are finalized. There's a lot of conversation, a lot of conference calls between bowl game executive directors, conference office administrators, athletic directors to sort it all out. It's a big puzzle. It really is, but it's a fun time of year. We found, through the launch of bowl season and really activating around key times of the year and key days specifically, that Selection Sunday, all eyes of the sports world are on bowl season, and it's a lot. It's a hectic day, but it's a lot of fun.
It's not just one single game, but truly a celebration of college football all year round. Nick, thank you so much for taking the time. Never too early to talk bowl season. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Morgan. Appreciate the time.